the legendary Carlsberg Special Brew.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. I have got a bit of a legend here today, and it is Carlsberg Special Brew. First thing I'll say, the can has changed. Now, I did a review of Kestrel Super, and I don't even know whether I should be fucking telling you this or not, but I used to drink this stuff when I first started drinking, and I was a little skinhead at the time. 1983 it would have been, and we used to sneak out, go to gigs, do other things, and this would always be my beer of choice. This and Merry Down cider, and 10 Benson and Edges, and that would be my weekend basically. A couple of cans of this. And I was about 13 at the time. I mean, fucking hell, I'm still alive, I don't know. But yeah, it would be that 10 Benson and Edges and a bottle of Merry Down for the Sunday. That was my Sunday drink, Merry Down. And I do remember this tasting absolutely disgusting. And I remember thinking as I was drinking it, because to be honest, you know, this was my first introduction to beer. This and the Long Life that my old man used to give me now and again. That was given to him from a work colleague, and my old man was a Guinness drinker, but he went through phases. He drank Newcastle Brown, he drank Long Life, and Guinness was his thing. But you know, and he didn't know I drank this stuff. Jesus, he'd go fucking mental if he heard I was drinking this. But this was a lot stronger back in the day. This used to be 9%, and it's been reduced and reduced and reduced now. And I just want to cover this. Do you know what? It's weird because I've done a review of the Kestrel Super, and I spoke for ages about it. I don't know, if you don't drink this all the time, I think everybody's got a story about when they did drink it. But I'm not going to go into some of the fucking shenanigans we used to get up as kids. Fucking hell, how we didn't end up arrested or doing time in prison, I do not know. We must have been very lucky. It's funny because the geezer that we used to get into trouble with, he's going to be my best man at my wedding. I've known him since I was 9. Fucking hell, some of the shit we used to get up to. Anyway, enough about my fucking misspent childhood. Carlsberg Special Brew. As I say, they've changed the can. Well, they have changed the can. It used to have a stripe around it. A white stripe, and it'd have Special Brew. If you look at some of the older reviews online of people reviewing this, you'll see what the old can looked like. If you've got any of them old cans, hang on to them. They could be worth something in a few years. Anyway, the ABV on this originally started out at 9%, and I'm not going to lie to you. Well, I don't have to lie to you. You already know this is tramp juice, as it's called. I don't really like using that term, but it's what it is. Electric soup, lunatic soup. Head the ball, so whatever you want to call it, and it's got a bit of a reputation. Now I was buying this in the shop, and I could see the geezer judging me behind the ramp. He's looking at me, and he's probably thinking, "Fuck me, that geezer buys a lot of beer in here. He's on a Special Brew now. I think he might have a problem." You think what you like, mate? I don't care. Originally it was 9%, went down to 8%. Now it's 7.5%. I was told that this came in 440ml cans, but this is a 500ml can. Now, I'm just going to quickly explain what's going on with all that. Alright, so originally 9% in a 500ml can. For years, everyone was fucking knocking it back and everything. Then it went down to 8%. Don't know why, but it did. Then it went down to 7.5 in a 440ml can. And the reason that is because the government said no one can of beer can exceed the recommended amount of units. And the recommended amount of units is 2, and I think 9%, that was 4 units, 4.5 units. So it was well over, it was double the fucking legal, not legal, but the recommended government amount of units. And a lot of homeless charities have said this stuff causes more problem than crack cocaine and heroin, and that's fucking sad, I think. So now this is where we're at 7.5%, and as I said, I thought this was in a 440ml can, but it's not. In the States this would be known as malt liquor, so if you ever hear the term in America malt liquor, you know that means super strength lager, you know. This is only brewed in the UK and Denmark. You won't get it anywhere else, and of course this is brewed in Northampton, up in the Carlsberg macro brewery up there. They brew all their UK beer up there, you know. This originally was brewed in the 50s for Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill visited Denmark, you know, straight after the war and all that. Well, not straight after the war, 5 years after the war, and they sent him 2 crates of this. And a little known fact, there's a British writer called Kingsley Amis. He was around sort of at the same time. I don't particularly like his work. He comes across as quite an arrogant tosser, but he used to drink this, but he'd have half of this and half of Carlsberg Pilsner, and he said it would instill goodwill into you. In other words, it would get you pissed. But yeah, that's the sort of history of it. And it's supposed to have cognac notes in it because, of course, Winston Churchill loved cognac. That was his cognac is a digestive. If you don't know what a digestive is, you have it after a meal. It's supposed to help you digest your food. Things like port, Angostura, you know, the bitters, that's a digestive, and Jägermeister, believe it or not. Little tip, if you're very full up after a big meal, sip Jägermeister. That'll sort you right out. Anyway, let's check the beer out. (7.5%), 500ml can. I don't know whether that's an anomaly, but I've been told this should only be in a 440ml can. Danish Special Brew Lager. That's what it's got on the front. By appointment to the Royal Danish Court. Well, if it is, they must be a bunch of pissheads. I'm not going to go into the history of all that. You know, the homeless drink of choice and all that. This isn't the channel for that if you want to take the piss. I'm not really going to do that. I don't really fancy it. Believe it or not, Carlsberg do a stronger one than this. It's called Master Brew, not to be confused with the Shepherd's Name Master Brew, and it's 10.5%. I've not seen it over here, but you can get it apparently. So if you're desperate for a high alcohol Carlsberg, don't bother with this. Get the Master Brew. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, let's get this open and get it checked out. Right, I haven't drank this since the early 80s, and I don't plan on continuing either. If it's anything like Kestrel, it's going down the sink, so let's give it a go. Nothing really. Oh, hang on. Oh yeah, the cognac notes are coming through now. God, that is quite strong. Spirit alcohol is kicking in. It smells sweet, syrupy, and of spirit alcohol. Let's get it in the glass. And again, like the Kestrel, this will be the first time I've ever seen this poured into a glass. Right, I won't pour it all out. There it is. It is a light amber colour. Fair amount of carbonation on that. Can you see it? One finger head on the nose. Oh, very sweet. Sweet spirit alcohol. Smells almost like a barley wine. Dare we get it down the hatch? Go on then. Cheers. Hasn't got that syrupy aftertaste. I'm sure the recipe for this has changed, because I don't remember it tasting like this. It was very sweet and syrupy, like the Kestrel stuff. That was disgusting. That went down the sink. Let's dive in again. Actually, it doesn't taste too bad. It's reminded me of the barley wine, the sort of the strong old ale, if you like. I wouldn't class it. I know it's been bottom fermented and whatnot, but it doesn't really taste like a lager to me. Well, that is surprising. It goes down quite clean. There's a lot of, I wouldn't say cognac notes, it's a sweetness, but a very malty sweetness to it. And the spirit alcohol I thought was going to be rampant in this, it's not really there. Carbonation is really abrasive, I will say that. And there's a slightly astringent aftertaste, like almost like a burnt caramel. No alcohol warming going down either. And it does make me laugh when you see these, you know, this has been put down to 7.5%. You know, you can get other beers. I was drinking a stout yesterday that was at 8.5%, an imperial stout. So, you know, so much for drinking responsibly. Yeah, I'm getting that burnt. It smells like, it tastes like burnt caramel, like an astringent burnt caramel aftertaste, and that would put me off. But what I will say, it hasn't got the huge, as I said before, it hasn't got the huge spirit alcohol. It hasn't got the syrupy arse end on it like Kestrel had, and it hasn't got the masses of sugar that I thought it was going to have. And this is cold. It's come out of the fridge, and you know, you can judge whether that's the way it's supposed to be drunk, but what I thought was going to put me off isn't there. But that burnt type caramel, it's not making it nice at all. Now, would you believe, and I didn't know this, that they sell over 37 million cans of this shit every year. That's in the UK. So there are still people buying this stuff now. I would say, you know, if you want stronger beer, you know, just get some fucking Fuller's Golden Pride. That's 1.5% stronger than this. But to be honest, I'm not liking this at all. And the only reason I'm not is because of that burnt caramel. It just isn't nice. and that's all I'm getting. And it's not for me. But it has surprised me. You know, the massive sweet, syrupy sweetness that I thought was going to be there, it ain't there. That cognac flavour, I ain't getting that. So what's the verdict? Well, I didn't have high hopes for it, to be honest. This sort of drink you drink when you're 13. Get out your nut and, you know, have a good night, a good cheap night. But it's just, I know the recipe must have changed because, you know, originally, as I said, it was 9%, now it went down to 8%, and now it's 7.5%. So that's changed. And I do remember it being quite syrupy. So that is definitely changed. I just don't like it. The aftertaste is like, as I said, burnt caramel, and it's just not nice. I'll give it a 1 out of 10. It's just a cheap macro brewed, strongish lager. I think its bark is worse than its bite. It's not for me. It just doesn't do anything for me. There's nothing in that would want to make me buy this ever again. Aside from its reputation, you know, if it tasted nice, I don't give a shit about reputation. As I always say, good beer is good beer. It just doesn't taste nice. I wouldn't enjoy it. And, you know, if I was going to get out of my nut, if that's what I wanted to do, I would buy, you know, a few 11% IPAs that that are going under the government radar, you know, in 440ml cans, and just knock a few of them back, and it would be much more enjoyable. Probably a little bit more expensive, but nah, this doesn't do anything for me at all. 1 out of 10, not recommended. If you don't want to be judged by the shopkeeper, do not buy that shit. Remember, I'm drinking this shit, so you don't have to.